as part of our continued efforts to reach the African and other ethnic communities in the United Kingdom with greater impacts and create the platform to hear your silent and unheard views in this hugely growing community in the United Kingdom, our channel, Ben TV, presents to you another live current affairs television program. Our focus on the program is to review and discuss issues around the diaspora community in the UK. The program offers you that unrestricted voice on issues affecting you in the UK. Join us live every Monday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Alright, good morning and thank you for joining us on the program today. And it is Dialogue in Diaspora coming to you live from Ben Television from our North London studio. It's another Monday morning here. Let's just quickly bring to you, it's not breaking news, it's all over the news about the attack in Finsbury Park early this Monday morning, where a white van was driven into people that were coming out from a mosque early this morning. If you do have any concern for your family members who have gone to somewhere around Finsbury Park or gone to pray in a mosque around Finsbury Park, and you do have questions, query or concern, you can call the police emergency helpline at 0800789321, 0800789321. That is the police emergency helpline specially set up for the victims or family members of the victims of the Finsbury Park attack early this morning. Very unfortunate. Another one in London, a very dark cloud over London. London just trying to recover. It's a difficult one from the tower fire that ravaged a tower block in West London just the week ending. Very unfortunate incident, and now we've got this Finsbury Park that the police have said is terrorism related, but investigations are still ongoing. It is reported that one person has been confirmed dead. The driver of the van has been arrested, and a couple of people are currently in hospital. If you do have concern for your family members, you can reach the police helpline on 0800789321. Our hearts now goes out to the family of the person that has been confirmed dead in that attack. Another very important information that you need to get to know, this channel, Ben Television, currently on Sky 182, will be moving to Sky 238. You will remember Sky 238 used to be one of our channels on Sky before we move to 182. Now we'll be going back to Sky 238. Is an advancement, it's growth, it's development. We're coming back better, bigger, brighter, greater audio, greater visuals on 238, wider reach across the whole of Europe, far out of Central Europe alone, covering greater part of Nigeria, Africa, and giving you the best of what you would like to enjoy in terms of news, current affairs, entertainment, and every other thing, including sports, from our African channel of the year here in London, from North London. Proud to let you know that we'll be going on 238, channel 238 on Sky from on the 27th of this month. So you will no longer be receiving Ben TV on 182. Please send that message across to everybody. You will no longer be receiving Ben TV on Sky 182 from 27th of June, but you can get us on a bigger, better, brighter channel 238 still Sky channel 238. We'll be giving you that information every time you tune into Ben Television. You see the school, pass the message across that from the 27th Ben TV will be on Sky 238. Thank you so much. It's been another beautiful Monday morning lined up for you to serve you this wonderful program today. We'll be giving you two segments. First, we'll be talking about sickle cell concern, and we'll be sharing experience with Augusta Koroma. Augusta Koroma, he's an advocate and a campaigner of sickle cell awareness. Yeah, she lost her husband to unfortunately 6 years ago to that incident. So she'll be sharing with us why it is important for us to get enough awareness, and in this country get enough awareness about sickle cell ailment. And she's got a book written about sickle cell ailment. If you do have concerns, it is important you stay tuned and watch this program and hear a true life story from uh, Augusta Kuruma, sharing with us our experience on sickle cell ailment on the program today. And thereafter, we'll be joined by another guest who then will be talking politics. We'll be taking a look at Britain today. What is the hope for tomorrow? We'll be joined by a chairman of Conservative Commonwealth Association and a labor activist on the show. Don't go away. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. You have the time to call into the studio and be part of the program. Good morning one more time from the entire team. I'm now joined by Augusta. Augusta, good morning.
Good morning today.
Pleasure to have you here.
Nice to meet you.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot. I mean, listening to your story about what happened to you 6 years ago, it's kind of very touching. But one would imagine that at the age we are in this part of the world, sickle cell shouldn't be too much of a concern, but it still seems to be a concern. Tell us more about sickle cell.
Sickle cell disease is predominantly does affect Black Africans, Asians, Caribbean, and the Mediterranean. It is a disease that is not known to the world really, unless they have a family or a friend that is affected by the disease, and that is a great problem all over the world.
So, sickle cell, how is it like? What is the cause? Give us more, tell us more, because you personally have a story to tell about sickle cell. Tell us more. What is it about sickle cell? How does it come? What is it? Give us more information about it.
Sickle cell disease is inherited from both parents, having passed on a gene from one parent to the other. It's all passed on really to the child. It is an inherited condition. It is not contagious. You can only get the illness through your parents. It does affect the red blood cells, and the oxygen mainly does not flow through the bloodstream, and wherein after that, they get pain all over their body called crisis because of how it's affected. There is no oxygen through the bloodstream. So this is the problem with sickle cell illness.
So when if it's blood related and is genetic, uh, is passed on, um, um, is inherited from parents,
Yes.
as you say.
Yes.
How does that happen? Is it in what way? In what way?
Well, genetically, we got different types of genotype. That's why doctors always advise, people to know your genotype. We have the AA, and I'm an AA because I don't carry sickle cell, neither do I have the trait. And there's an AS, and there's SS, which is the sickle cell, and there's the SC. AA has a normal red blood cells, which is round in shape. AS is the trait, and they carry half the gene of the trait and the sickle cell disease. Part of a parent carry, for example, if I have sickle cell disease and you have the sickle cell gene, our children will somehow have the trait in certain circumstances. So,
is it necessary that all the children, or their likelihood that one or two of the children could have a bit of mine and a bit of yours, say like AA? Not. Tell us more.
it
I'm
is,
sorry for cutting
yes,
you short.
it is, it's a 1 in 4. Children do have sickle cell disease when it comes to things like that. It is it's genetic passed on. Like I said, the SS carries the full-blown trait of sickle cell disease, and the AS carries just the trait. And there's the SC that has sickle cell disease of itself, but carries less anemia in the gene. So, like I said, for example, um, I have, I don't have sickle cell disease, and I don't even have the trait. My normal blood cells is red, it's round, and it's round, it's in a round shape. It's a normal blood cells called AA. And you, for example, have sickle cell disease, possibly, like my children, they have the traits. So with the traits, it does not really, sickle cell it does not affect them. They live a normal life just like you and me. But possibly, if you are in connection with somebody that has the sickle cell disease of itself,
Or the
yes,
traits of the sickle cell.
the traits of the sickle cell and the sickle cell disease, there's 1 in 4 chance of you having the disease, your child having the disease.
Say somebody, um, a man with AAX
Yes,
marrying a woman
with
who's
SS.
no AS as well.
And AS, yes, there's 1 in 4 chances of you having the disease.
Having a child with SS.
Yes, definitely, it will have, it will happen. So it's always advisable to know your genotype, to have testing, to know, when you are in connection with somebody or in a relationship and want to have a child, because it's really important to do that.
I'm sorry, I just want to go a little bit personal. I saw the time you were going out with your husband. Did you know that he was a sickle cell carrier?
Yes, I do. I do know that he has a sickle cell, he has the gene, and I am aware that I don't have the trait, neither I don't have the disease of itself. So I am an AA because I know that if we have children, the children will not suffer at all from the disease of itself.
But did you? I mean, I'm sorry, it's traumatic, but
It is.
I mean, I you're from Africa, obviously,
Yes, I am.
and luckily you live in England. And one would have thought that living in England, regardless of the kind of disease or diseases one may have, the chances of knocking one out early to early grave should be very low. Could that have formed one of your reasons for marrying, getting it, continue with that relationship, knowing that okay, we are in England, there are chances that we may be together for long because we are in a more advanced country where science and medicine is advanced.
Well, I thought so myself, really. But being in the condition, really, at that time, there was not much, people didn't know much about the illness, really, as how it is now. There's so much awareness going on at the moment. But at that time, doctors, nurses, even nurses are not, they're not really, really aware of the illness. They have not been trained properly, to treat the disease of itself and its management and how to cope up with the illness of itself.
So I'm sorry, it's really so. Having having gone through that traumatic experience with your husband, you decided to take up that campaign. Is that?
Yes, because of that, I become very passionate about the illness of itself. And, I went to university, I did my degree in public health and, and also master's degree in public health. And I know that I can create an impact globally to people out there because this disease is very lethal. My husband was only 39 years old when he died of this disease. It's the most painful thing that has ever happened to me. But, I decided to be very brave and stay strong for my 2 children, my girls, because I love them to bits. So I just want to create more awareness. Today is World Sickle Cell Day, and this has been cleared by the United Nations that World Sickle Cell Day needs to be celebrated globally in the form of creating awareness all over the world in form of activities, media events, and things like that. So today I took upon myself to do this, to come to Ben Television to create this awareness.
You really miss him so much.
Yes, I do. I do miss 6 years. It seems like 6 days. Every day is another. Every day when I think of him, because we were very close as a family. We travel together, we go on holidays together, we play around together, and it has been so devastating for me. But, I try to be very brave and stay strong for the kids. Because in life, sometimes in life, you just have to move on from what has been, paining you or what has been happening to your life and stay firm and get on with your life and do the things that you love and get a great vision. And this is what I am very passionate about, to serve the world in a way to create this awareness about this illness that is a lethal one.
Hmm. So moving on from there, you wrote a book called Sickle Cell Ailment.
Yes.
To start the inspiration you have.
Yes.
Tell us more.
My book is called Sickle Cell Ailment by Cry, My Story. I wrote this book in memory of Abdul Karim Francis Koroma. May his gentle soul rest in peace. With sickle cell disease, the disease needs to be taken care of holistically in terms of physical care, social care, emotional care, and family involvement. It's very necessary for all of you to make sure that these people are cared for in such a way. Physically, the body, it does affect the body. The bones are, most of the joints get swollen and things like that. So in terms of that, clinical care, doctors, nurses, health professionals need to be aware how to treat people in such a way in terms of medication, in terms of what works for them, because not everybody that has sickle cell disease do have pain in certain way. They all do have, when they're faced with pain and everything else, it's quite different. It's different from each pain. Your pain can be different. My own sickle cell pain can be different. So it has to be from the patient. They need to listen more, to the patient in terms of what medication works for them, because that's the only way they can be treated in terms of clinical care. In terms of clinical care, they have so many medications that they take. Like, for example, penicillin, folic acid, diclofenac, didecodine, morphine, etc. There's so many medication, and they're often put on saline drips in order. And most of the time, they're in and out of hospitals, and they do take blood transfusion to get rid, to get the blood, the thin of the blood. Because, like I said, with sickle cell anemia, the blood of itself is like, it's round, like a moon shape, like a banana shape. So it's always sticky, and it doesn't pass through the bloodstream quite easily. And you need lots of oxygen in the bloodstream for you to be able to stand firm in terms of that. But with people with sickle cell disease, they have this agony. There is lack of oxygen in their bloodstream, which makes it so difficult in terms of clinical care. In terms of family involvement, as a family, you need to be aware how this disease does affect your relative, your mom, your dad, your brother, or anybody else in terms of care. Most times, in this country, when the weather is really cold, they do get crisis because of the weather. So it's always advisable to get, warm clothing, try to keep yourself warm, and also you need to drink lots and lots of water, because dehydration causes crisis.
Cold water or hot water?
Lukewarm water is fine, because dehydration causes, problems with sickle cell disease. You go into crisis because you need lots and lots of fluid, in the system, to thin the blood within because the blood gets sticky within the bloodstream. So that's why they always, the doctors, nurses, health professionals always advise them to take that on board. So I've written all of that in my book, just to create more awareness how it should be maintained and how it should be managed successfully.
In Africa, sickle cell is a massive killer for lack of education,
Yes.
lack of awareness,
Yes.
and excuse me, very poor um, medical attention. I mean, okay, let me take you back a little bit. I mean, going, seeing what you went through with your husband,
Yes.
with the level of medical attention here, one would have imagined um, what happened actually.
Well, with terms of sickle cell disease, anything can happen. It is a disease that, is very, very prone to infection because, like I said, because there's no oxygen going through the bloodstream. So it's very prone to infection. That's why they always advise them to take penicillin. So in terms of complication, he had a few complications, chest problem in terms of infection. So that got complicated in a way, and he was on blood transfusion, and all of these things were happening, and the body could not take it anymore, and he, eventually died of multiple organ failure, which was, really, really bad. It is lethal. It is a lethal disease, and it should be classed as a disability, really, in all parts of the world, because it's a condition that people lack so much knowledge. Even in Africa, I was in Sierra Leone few months ago, and most people are not even aware of the disease. They're not educated enough. And only 2 weeks ago, I had a phone call from a lady in Sierra Leone saying to me, can you help me? And, I need to know more about this disease. My daughter is 13 years old, and she was only diagnosed about this illness. And I said, what, really?
13 years old.
13 years old. She should have been diagnosed ever since she was a baby. So she has been, she has been carrying that, illness all her life, all like 13 years, and without them knowing that she has this illness. So I have been sort of have a WhatsApp group that I sort of like, be in touch with my patients in Sierra Leone, because I'm always trying to educate them about what to do about the management of the illness and things like that. So I went to Freetown and also launched my book in the School of Nursing in Freetown, which was really excited to go and see and talk to people, and even spoke to students and nurses to see how they are getting on. But there's so much that needs to be done. Presently, there's a drug called hydroxyurea, which is being used for sickle cell patients for both young and old. Hydroxyurea is not readily available in Sierra Leone, and that's so pathetic to know that, because it reduces the amount of episode that you do have with sickle cell disease. But mostly it is not available. It's not available at all in Sierra Leone. And it's heartbreaking.
And in some other parts of
And
Africa.
some other parts of Africa too. It is heartbreaking. Because, the policies in terms of, medical health needs to be looked into. 24% prevalence in Sierra Leone of the disease. So it is a major public health issue. It is a major public health issue all over the world. The United Nations, stated there's about 275,000 people have the disease. It is alarming. And there's more that needs to be done. More in terms of all this care. People, and and really I am pleading to those of you studying as well. If you want to do something in terms of sickle cell disease, try and do more research on sickle cell disease, and also you can get a PhD qualification on sickle cell disease to help people to be knowledgeable about the disease, because the disease of itself needs a lot of knowledge.
Before we get to that stage, so isn't it important for young people to actually get to know their genotype and not fall in love blindly? Is there anything like blind love, by the way? So I don't care, I'm blindly in love. Was that your story?
Not really, it's not my story. But, yes, but part of it was my story because I did just take him as a person, really, rather than looking at his disability or rather than what he had. Because he was a very kind young man, a gentleman, and has a heart of gold. Yes, despite his illness. Yes, with young people, and, it's something that I want to work with the youths as well. And I'll be going to Sierra Leone sometime to work with youth in terms of genotype testing. Genotype testing is quite important in terms of relationship, who you date, who you go out with, in terms of having children. Because with my children, they have the traits, and it's embedded in them because I'm quite knowledgeable at the illness, and
So,
they know.
so with your children, there will never be blind love.
Well, yeah, it's blind love, but it's like, well, with my children, no. No, not really, because they are really aware of it, my
So
children.
they've got to open their eyes to
They've
know
got
who they fall in love with.
Definitely,
Basically,
basically, definitely, that is set stone. I have said it to them.
you got to
now
open
and
your eyes,
again.
man.
Oh yes, I'm really open. I said, well, it's like, don't let even, let them tell you that, oh yes, I don't have the trait. You got to go with them and have them tested. It's quite important because you don't want to bring a child with sickle cell disease in this world. It is a lifetime disease and it's a lifetime struggle.
Been talking with Augusta Kuruma, who is a sickle cell intervention campaigner, and she's just written a book called Sickle Cell Ailment: My Cry, My Story, a real story she's told us this Monday morning as the world celebrates Sickle Cell Day. If you're watching this program, it is important that you get enough information on. If you've got young ones, you've just heard that the days of blind love is far gone. um, our children, you've got to open your eyes about so many things when it comes to love. You need to know the man, you need to know the woman, not only in terms of their finances, their prospect, their future, but also in terms of their genotype. Are they the right person for you? The days of blind love, I think may have far begun because quite a lot of things are happening in this century, in this age, that we must be aware of. Augusta,
Yes.
thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. Yes. You can get my book at lulu.com, or you can type in Augusta Chroma at amazon.com. Um, my website is sicklecellintervention.webs. You can, get me on Facebook, Sickle Cell Intervention, Instagram, Sickle Cell Intervention. I'm happily available to, request your questions and answers in all direction in terms of sickle cell disease. Let's make this a better world. Sickle cell disease is lethal. Don't stigmatize sickle cell patients. You stop the stigma, create awareness. Healthcare professionals need to be trained more in order to know the management of sickle cell disease. Thank you ever so much.
How much of this do you go around doing it within the African community? More importantly, within the African community.
Yes,
Do you go doing
I
much
do.
of education?
Last year I hired a boat in Maidstone, and I had all professionals, health professionals on board in terms of doctors, nurses, social workers, and and also midwives. They were all on the boat and all walks of life. And I created, the theme was knowing your genotype at that time. And the theme for today is stop the stigma.
Stop the stigma.
Stop the stigma.
All right. Thank you so much, Augusta Kuruma. It's a pleasure to have you on the program today. Greetings to your two ladies when you get home. I'm sure they'll be proud of you seeing Mommy on TV.
I know. Thank you ever so much for having me today. It's a pleasure being here on Ben TV.
All right. We can assure you of our continued support.
Thank you.
Anytime, just drop us an email. We'll continue to support you.
I will definitely do
in
that.
this campaign. We've got a very short break now, and I bring in my next guest. We'll be talking politics. Don't go away. Join us live every Monday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon.